Yeah, welcome back everyone for another video, and we're going to get into this video and try to be very concise with our time and make it not too long, but give you some good information here. And you may have clicked on the title, and we will do some definitions of words mentioned in the title. The title is of this video, I like you very much, really. So first, before we get to definitions, let me give some sort of quick preliminary remarks. Number one, you may have noticed my surrounding is a bit different than normally when I'm sitting at the dining room table at my house. I am at I'm in visiting a relative of mine, and so I realized that I hadn't done a video in a few days, and I needed to get another video out. And this video is not just a video because I need to get a video out. It's actually a topic that I've been thinking about quite a while, and so I'm going to put this out for you. Also, remember, everybody, please go to Amazon.com or your favorite bookseller and get a copy of my book, theholiness.com Dating Survival Guide. It's good for yourself and also makes a great gift. If you're single or married, get that book. It's got some good information regarding relationships and concepts that you'll need to understand. And even if you say, well, I don't want to know anything about relationships and dating and whatever, but no doubt you have family and friends that need the information in that book. So if you're giving advice, or even if you're not giving advice, get that book and get it into folks' hands. Again, there's an ebook version, paperback, hardback. So hopefully we've got it in a format. We've got it in all those formats. So it should be one of those formats that will suit your needs. All right, so the title, I like you very much, really. Let's first, before we give you a couple definitions, I've heard, even over the pulpit by a notable figure, teacher in Christendom, giving a theology that's basically every Christian, it's your duty to like every person, every human. And that thought seems to me to be inconsistent with what's correct. That every Christian should like everybody in the world. Okay, so let's start with some definitions, and you'll see why I find that concept that every Christian is going to like every person, every human. You'll see why I'm not seeing that to be a correct theology or thought or teaching. First, let's go to Webster and talk about the word like. Now, like is a word that occupies different parts of the English language. And what I mean by that is like can be a noun, it can be a verb, and maybe even some other things. We're talking about the word like as it's used as a verb, all right? So defining that word like as a verb, what it means is to feel an attraction toward or take pleasure in something that you are attracted to, that you enjoy in some regard. It can also mean that you want something. Like you may ask a guest in your home, oh, would you like some dessert? And I think in that still, like means you're going to enjoy something, you're attracted to it in some fashion, or it's believed that you will enjoy it. Usually for me, dessert is enjoyable, and I often have to resist the attraction or should resist attraction to too much dessert. Um, so let's just stop there on the word like. Hopefully you got the point. And so like can be for an inanimate thing, object, as well as a person. You can have an attraction to a person. Um, you can enjoy. Have you ever had some people that you just enjoy their company? Because you like that person, but oftentimes the reason you like them is because you have an attraction to their something about them. Often it's an attraction to their personality. So let's define personality, what that is. So personality, I'm looking at online definition here. Personality, the combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinctive character. So each of us has character qualities, whether they're good or bad, things about our character. Our personality is really what makes us, in many sense, do what we do, how we do it. For example, some people, let's say, oftentimes you might encounter a lady, let's say, that is very kind, very gentle, very sweet. Those are characteristics or components of her personality. And so those characteristics, that personality, can cause people to be attracted to her, to be drawn to her. And particularly if we're talking about, male-female relationships, speaking from a man's perspective, a woman can be very physically attractive and a man can be drawn to that. But if her personality, her character is very off-putting, very, abrasive, then, me as a man or men, they can find that even a very physically beautiful woman, that we're not as attracted to that person. And if the personality, if who that person is internally is full of abrasive and unpleasant, unenjoyable components of her character, are very unpleasant, you really can't say you like that person, or I can't say I like that person, in the sense of I'm attracted to who they are, what they are, their personality. And so some might say, well, aren't we supposed to love everybody? And they may refer to the Bible, as we Christians should refer to the Bible for our standards. And they might say, well, what about Luke chapter 10, and where, the Jewish person is speaking with Jesus, and they're discussing the two greatest commandments, that you love God with your everything, your heart, your soul, and your mind, your whole self, that you love God, number one, and that you love your neighbor as yourself. And then that passage is where we often refer to that, those two directives, to love God with everything within us and our neighbor as ourselves. And we will refer to the parable, what we call the parable of the Good Samaritan, where I think there were two religious people that saw the man that had been apparently robbed and thrown by the roadside, and they just ignored him, didn't have compassion, or didn't demonstrate compassion and the love of God, the love of their neighbor. And neighbor in this sense just means anybody that, all humans, anybody that comes into your sphere, we shouldn't, as Christians, hate anybody. We love everybody with sort of the godly love, is often referred to as agape, that we can have a sense of well-wishing all humans. And so they'll refer to that and say, yeah, aren't we supposed to love everybody? But that type of love is not the same word as like. You can have compassion, as Jesus mentioned in the Good Samaritan parable about the Samaritan who had compassion for the man that was robbed and thrown in the ditch, and his compassion was demonstrated by him willingly getting involved to get that man to safety and to get him some, in that day, their type of medical treatment and treating his wounds. Not that I'm recommending all of you, be stopping by the roadside in ditches, especially you ladies, and dealing with somebody who appears to be, robbed and left. But what you can do in showing compassion, even, as you stay at a, safe situation, getting your phone and dialing the authorities and having them get somebody out there, or anything that, or if you're in a situation, maybe with a group of people, or it's safe or whatever, that you can actually take charge of a situation like that. But my point being is that the love that you can show to even strangers, because we should love all people and not hate anybody, doesn't mean you even like their personality. That you, in the case of the Good Samaritan, it appears a man appears to be unconscious. So how could you even say the Samaritan liked the man he was showing compassion to and helping when he first began to help him? Because if the man was unconscious, there was no interaction. But you can show compassion even though you may not like a person's personality and who they are. Now, I do agree that it can be problematic if we go around all the time, every day, saying, I like you, I don't like you, I love you, but I don't like you, I don't like you, I don't like you, that might be problematic and cause some friction if you did that, possibly. But hopefully you get the point that we've got to rightly divide the word of truth, the Bible, because I've had in relationships people that turned out to be of a bad character, and liking someone is from your perspective. It's that they are not attractive to you, their personality. So it's an individual thing. Maybe somebody else would like them, but I can give you an example of one young lady that I was courting years ago, and if she didn't get her way and whatever, she would do dastardly evil stuff. She was professing Christianity. I mean, she didn't get her way to kind of punish me. She would just disappear for days, and even gone off to another state and not say, hey, I'm taking. It wasn't like she's taking a trip. She was trying to make me worry or suffer. So that relationship ended. But she wanted to try to manipulate me with theology that I gotta forgive her and take her back, kind of thing. But that's a manipulation. Wrong manipulation or a wrong interpretation of the Bible. So in any case, if we like everybody the same, sometimes you can like somebody a little. Some people you'll like them a lot. If everybody, let's say all Christians, because this is a sort of Christian discussion here, because I've heard this term in Christian circles from people trying to teach from a biblical standpoint. But if you're not a Christian, you're definitely welcome to listen to this discussion here we're having. But if all Christians had to like everybody, let's talk about dating and courting and getting married, and having fiancés, getting married. Well, then we wouldn't really need all sort of this courtship. We could just do choosing someone to marry, just kind of like a vending machine kind of thing. Like you go to a vending machine and there's pictures or samples of different kinds of candy in each little slot. And then you look at the picture of the candy and you put in coins and press the button and out pops what you want. Well, we could do marriage like that. Just in each little slot, put a picture of a person or people, and okay, you look at the pictures and the one that you think looks nice, you put in your selection and pick them, and you just go get married. Because if everybody likes everybody and we like everybody the same, and you saw the picture that you physically attracted them, and we like everybody the same, and marriage, why not? Wouldn't it? That's kind of silly, yeah. But my point being, we don't like everybody the same, and some people we totally don't like their personality. And there's nothing in the Bible that says you have to like their personality, but because we love everybody, we try to give everybody regard as a human. Their value, even if we don't like their person and their character, their value is that they are one of God's created in His image, even if they're a wicked, evil person, and we wish them the best. We don't put ourselves in a dangerous situation with them, unless you better surely know God told you to put yourself in a dangerous situation. I don't want the ladies out in the side of the road at nighttime trying to rescue people alone. That can be kind of difficult. But we love everybody, but we don't necessarily like everybody. I had an older relative who she felt she had to just do certain things because helping people, things that were just letting desperados move into her house, and they were just she thought she was showing what Christ would want us to, and letting people live in her house who just were disrespectful, youngsters actually, minors, and they wouldn't obey. They got mad because she didn't want them to be watching TV at a certain time, so they decided. They just broke the TV. The real, and they got mad. And you know how people who are desperados, I'll say, sometimes do graffiti and all sorts of drawings on the outsides of buildings. Well, they decided to do graffiti on the inside of the house, and she was showing me after this transpired what happened. Well, those desperados, weren't very well liked, amongst, some of the people that loved my relative. But we still had a requirement to show love to them and consideration, not necessarily let them move into our home if they were disrespectful, and actually some of them exercising criminal activities. The Bible does say, because some people have the thought that we're Christians, we should like everybody, and that doesn't mean let all criminals out of prison, and because the Bible does tell us the law is for the lawless, and it's a matter of love to keep in prison those who would do harm and wreak havoc throughout the community to citizens. So you got to rightly divide what the Bible says. Otherwise, people can manipulate you to your harm. So I think we'll stop there and end this video at this time. Have a good rest of your day.